I remember pulling up to the house for the very first time with a group of people as we were exploring this idea, and I look at the outside of the house and I'm thinking, well, this doesn't look so bad. And then we went inside, and that's when I realized that this is going to need to be a complete renovation. We saw like electrical hanging down from the ceiling. We saw extra toilets and extra showers that are sitting places. We started slapping our ankles as fleas were getting us, and realized that this is going to be a major overhaul. But we took it all the way down to the studs. We started pretty much from scratch. The body of Christ got involved, and I'll tell you what, don't ever underestimate when missions teams and when the church gets involved. Amazing things can happen, and what was just a train wreck of a home turned into just a phenomenal looking, beautiful place that was going to be just a welcome sight for every woman that was going to step foot through that door. It makes me think of Zechariah, where it says, don't forsake small beginnings. And this is where we began. This is where we launched. And now I would have never imagined that we'd be in 6 different states and 7 locations, and that we would have served women coming from 25 different states to date. But right here in central Kentucky, this is where this whole thing birthed. And where will it be 10 years from now, 20 years from now? I think we'll light up even more spots across the United States, and I would assume all 50 states will have served women from. But again, this is the beginning of something I think was a God-sized assignment that we didn't even realize when we opened up the doors in 2010. One of my favorite photos that we've probably shown this photo a million times over the years, but it's a photo of when we were getting ready to dedicate the house here at the farm, and arms were locked, the big circle all the way around the house. And I remember I was standing in this spot right here. I had a big bullhorn that I'm shouting in because people are clearly on the opposite side over there. And big circle, arms are locked, heads are bowed, and we're literally praying, God, unless you show up in this place, every life that comes in here, we can do a lot of great things for them, but unless they encounter you, that's the only way that their lives are going to be changed forever. That photo over the last 10 years has meant so much to me, because it keeps the main thing as to what we're doing here at this house. There's so many different things that have taken place on this land over the last 10 years. Decisions for Christ that have taken place, baptisms, things like graduations that have happened and taken place. Seeing residents complete the program, standing there with a certificate, smiles on their faces, realizing this is realistically probably the first time they have ever had their name on a certificate for a graduation, and feeling like I finished what I started. I mean, those kind of moments are priceless moments. In Luke chapter 15, the story is told of the prodigal son, and part of that story that I love so much is the son had found himself in just a terrible, terrible situation, in a pig pen, one of the most despicable situations that could be thought of in that story. And he just makes the decision, thinks of his father, thinks of his home, makes the decision to come back. And the story says that when he was still a long ways off, the father saw him, which makes me think the father was looking for him to have noticed him such a long ways off. The son did not start running towards the father. It was the father who, seeing his son a long ways off, takes off and just starts sprinting towards him. The son wants to show up in shame and just be considered less than in the father's house. And the first thing that the father does is just completely ignore everything the son is saying and says, get him a robe, get him the sandals, get him a ring, kill the fattened calf, all the things of dignity and honor. The son has come home. I think every single time that a woman steps foot on this property, there is a pursuit that the father has had of her. She comes onto this property, the first thing that she sees is that there's a sign on the door that says, welcome home. Can you imagine what that experience has got to be like for her? To see that sign that says, I've been thought of, I've been being anticipated. My arrival has been anticipated. She walks into the house. She goes to her room. Here's your bed. There's a welcome basket on that bed. We want her to experience the same love, the same pursuit. The Father's heart for her is identical to the Father's heart for the Son. And that's what we want her to experience, that she has been sought after. She has been desired to be here, that she is welcome in this house. And we don't want to talk about shame. We want to talk about the purpose, the plan. You're welcome here, and you are a part of a family. You know, not everything has been completely positive over the last 10 years. You know, we've had, different challenges and struggles like any organization would have. We've had some major highs and blessings that we've had struggle at different times as well too. You know, I go back to a night in 2006 that really kind of changed me and changed us as an organization, I think, forever.
Police telling us 6 people have been killed in a horrific crash on US 27.
Car hit a van also with 5 people in it head on. Now at this time we believe the van belongs to an organization called the Refuge for Women.
I was down in Florida with my daughter and we were doing some work down there for Refuge, and my phone rings and it was about 9 o'clock at night, and it was a friend of mine, Scott Harvey, police officer in Jessamine County, called and said, hey, I want to tell you that there's been a really, really bad accident, and the van is registered to Refuge for Women. Well, of course, I'm shocked, wanting to know what happened and how bad is it. And he said it's bad, and he said there's at least one casualty, and possibly more. He said, let me get some more information. I'll call you right back. Well, I'm down in Florida, and my heart's going 100 miles an hour. I immediately get on the news, and I'm trying to figure out, what all happened. And then I see breaking news, 6 people dead in a crash in Jessamine County. I immediately call him back. I said, I thought you said there was only 1 person gone. And I said, I just saw the news. It said 6. He said, well, 1 from Refuge, but 5 in the other vehicle are all deceased. You can only imagine, just obviously everything got turned upside down all of a sudden. And I said, who is the person? And he described her, and it was Angela. Angela had been with us for about 4 months. One of my favorite photos of Angela is her coming up out of the water when we baptized her. Her arms are stretched up in the air. And it's just this incredible, this transformative moment for her of just recognizing God's love for her and the decision that she made. And we put the words "Heaven is for Real" because we had been to see the movie Heaven is for Real. As an organization, we all went on an afternoon and we saw that movie Heaven is for Real. And I remember we were all going outside, and there were several of them that were wanting to smoke, and so we were standing outside a theater there, and Angela was just very, very disturbed and bothered, and she started to explain to me that her daughter, who was 21 years old, had been murdered years ago. And she said, Ked, do you think that I'll ever see my daughter again? And I remember us talking. I said, well, I don't know the relationship that your daughter had with the Lord, but the Bible says we'll see our loved ones again, that there is a reality beyond our current reality. And I said, you will see your daughter again. I had no idea at that point, 2 weeks later, how real that statement was going to be. So we put on top of the picture, "Heaven is for Real," because we know that Angela came to know the Lord while she was within our program, and that today she is in heaven, and that I'm hoping she's reunited with her daughter in a better place. As an organization, I think for me, that whole experience, just the sense of responsibility, the sense of, what is really most important. Obviously helping residents get things together in a better way here on earth is obviously important, but eternally speaking, them connecting with the Lord is the greatest thing that we can do for them as an organization. 2 years ago, my friend comes to me who's allowed us to be on this property and says that he just bought another farm and that he's going to sell this property. Well, my first reaction is to go, oh wow, that's great that you were able to land another farm. My second reaction is to think, I wonder what that means for us. Where are we going to go, as an organization? And he said, I want you to be able to buy this property for Refuge for Women and be able to put roots down and stay here. And so he gave us a price, a very affordable price, and our board wrestled with it and prayed, and we decided that we thought we should move forward with it. And so we were able to purchase 53 acres of land right here. And the home that they had built for their family is just a phenomenal home that allowed us to open up another house and have Kentucky's very first home for trafficked and sexually exploited women. 16 beds in this home. 6 beds in our other 22 women right now. We're able to serve on this land. But when you think of 53 acres, the amount of people we're going to be able to serve for the next 50 years and the growth and all the things we'll be able to do on this land, it's a game changer for the organization.